Today I thought we would do a few meditations before we do a larger meditation. I'm going to try to keep us on track. I know Jeff's got to get out of here. He's getting married later today.
Oh, cool.
So
Don't want to miss that.
So the first meditation I'd like to do is just a really rudimentary basic meditation that I started with when I was younger, and then we're going to build on that meditation. There's 3 parts to this sort of meditation, and we're going to start with the solar plexus and also the Hara area. So what I want you to do is imagine that from your Hara or Dantien area to your solar plex area, that you've got heat moving up and down, up and down. And it's just cycling back and forth between those 2 points, between those 2 centers. At any time, you're welcome to bring one hand to your solar plexus and one hand to your Dantien area. Of course, the Dantien is just below the belly button. Breathe into these areas and circulate the energy between the Dantien and the solar plexus. Now, more specifically, I'd like you to, when you're breathing in, I'd like you to focus on the Dantien, and when you're breathing out, focus on the solar plexus. And then switch it. Breathe into the solar plex, and then breathe out through the Dantien. Nice, slow, deep, long breaths. Okay, when you're ready, just open your eyes. We're going to do that again in a moment, but I just wanted to get a little feedback from you on what you were experiencing as you place your attention on those two areas.
It's definitely more in tune, aware of how my body was feeling. Okay. Go ahead, Jeff.
Just felt weird separating. Never thought to do that before.
Okay.
Up and in. I don't know. Different.
Right now, I'm just finding periods where I get distracted from really focusing. Like I understand exactly what I need to do, but right now, just a little distracted. And what I find when I get in that position, I start using other principles. You know, straightening out my back. You know, and then when I do the breath, really emphasize it from one peak to the other, whether it's an inhale or the exhale, and really get into it feeling-wise to help me awaken. So it's pretty much an exercise I'm working with right now, because I know the objective.
Yeah.
It's just, I can get distracted right now, and I feel that right now.
Okay. Thank you. All right. We're going to breathe the same way, and let me just once again go through the instructions for this, because we're going to change it slightly this time. What I'd like you to do is focus on the Dantien area below the navel, and I'd like you to breathe in to the Dantien. Okay. And then I'd like you to shift your attention up to the solar plexus, and I'd like you to breathe out through that center. When you fully breathed out through the solar plexus center, I'd like you to once again breathe in through the solar plexus. And then breathe out through the lower Dantien. Okay?
Isn't that the same as what we just did?
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh, okay.
It's the same. But the difference is, at some point I'm going to say switch your breathing. And what's going to happen is when you breathe in, depending on what center you're on at the time, when you breathe in, because you might be here or you might be here, but when you breathe in, I want you to take a sharper breath in and focus on that area. Keep your attention on the area and then let it go at the normal rate. And then when you've completely exhausted your breath by a nice slow breath outward, then it'll be focused on the solar plexus, if that's what you're on, and pull it right in. And then let it go through the other channel. Okay?
Is it okay if I lie down?
Yeah, sure. You can.
I had a hernia operation.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time breathing into the Dantien.
Yeah. Make yourself comfortable whichever way you need
That's
to.
pretty cool. I'm gonna do it that way.
Does that actually help heal the surgery? By breathing into the... Wait, I got
It can, because the energy circulates in that area and it can heal what's happening down there, and it also strengthens it as well. But you got to make sure your attention is like there when you're doing it. Okay. So make yourselves comfortable. Okay, once again, we're going to start out just with the deep breathing, slowly in, slowly out. And then when I say change, then when your next inhalation comes, you're going to take a sharp, fast breath into that center and breathe out slowly through the other center, and continue that method or that rhythm of breathing from then on. So go ahead and just start your breathing nice and slow from one center to the other. Continue to breathe, same way. All right, on your next breath in, take it sharp and fast. And then breathe out slowly through the other center. When you take that breath in quickly, I want you to put your full attention on the center area of your focus and awaken it. Allow the stimulation of that breath that comes into that area to awaken the solar plexus or the Dantien area. finish off your last breath there. And then come on back into the room. Any comments?
Two things I notice. This works great for centering. If you're off balance, at least that's my experience. Taking the breath in and allowing it to slowly allows the mind to really calm down. And with enough practice, it's you know, to get an instant, or as close to an instant centering. The other thing I like about this too is this, just the whole movement of the expansion of the lungs. I also try to because I had some cramps here I had to deal with. It actually worked great on the exhale. It relieved a lot of the stress and the cramp in the muscle. So that's another thing that I'm studying. So really grateful for that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Instant energy flow, lots of energy, instantly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a lot more powerful than the other way, and it just took me a while to get into the different rhythms. I couldn't take that sharp breath. I didn't feel comfortable with it, and then I had to work into it. It's good.
It was just, I like the change, different flow of energy, different, from quick movement to relaxing. Very centering.
The contrast is
The contrast, exactly.
what makes it very interesting. A lot of the times in meditation, when you first learn meditation, you learn a simple method like just breathing, and it's all about sort of just one thing. And when we separate different areas in the body, like these particular two centers, a lot of times in life, we go through life, and as we have different experiences in life, we shut down certain centers in our body. And we don't do it on purpose. We do it because of the amount of information, experiences, sometimes trauma, sometimes drama. Sometimes you just want to shut everything off. And so what you tell yourself, and sometimes it's purely on the subconscious level, what you tell yourself is, I don't want to experience that. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to think that. I don't want to have to be in that space. And so what happens is those particular centers, which are opening up for you to have full experiences in those ways, in those centers, because they sort of orchestrate that particular energy flow of those particular experiences. They start to close, they start to shut down. Doesn't mean that they're dead, they're always there, you know, but they're a little pilot light. So when you start doing this differential breathing pattern, which I've just shown you here, you can awaken them. Because you're breathing directly into that center sharply, and it stimulates that center. It's almost like saying, hello, wake up, are you there? Come on out.
Sounds uncomfortably numb.
Exactly. Pink Floyd fans. So, you know, basically what happens is you're inviting, is probably the best word, you're inviting that chakra or that energy center, whatever name you want to give it, it doesn't matter. I mean, depends what system you study, depends what name is allocated to that area. The main thing is, and I just call them energy centers, but the main thing is they tend to go dormant after a while, hibernation, if they're not being utilized. And so if you awaken them and you stimulate them, then you have the advantage of having that energy percolated again. And that can do a lot of different things. However, it can also help you to experience a lot of the things that you were trying to hide from or you know, sort of dodge, because the energy is not discriminative. It's not biased. It'll just say, hey, you want to experience, okay. And that's the beautiful thing about where we live, this schoolroom called Earth, is that there is no you know, bias, there's no discrimination. It's like, here's the full experience of this energy. And the nice thing about that is what I found is I used to resist certain things, certain experiences. And of course wisdom teaches you not to do certain things and to do other things because it's more productive, it's more beneficial. But a lot of the times you're not sure, and so you'll resist certain things just out of knowing that you don't want to experience it, you don't want to have to deal with it, when that might be the very thing that you need to to continue your growth as a human being or as a spiritual being. When you start to come into acceptance of that, doesn't mean that you have to be negative or welcome negative energy, but a lot of times when you're okay, you're mindful of it and you're accepting that it's a part of this universe. You know, there's all kinds of energies in this universe. Then a lot of the times it just permeates into your being and you're okay with it. And you no longer necessarily attract it to you in great droves because it's not your lesson anymore. It's not something that you need as much as you did before. And so therefore you balance out. You start to balance out. I'm a great proponent of the philosophy that if you need something, it's going to come at you until you get it.
Yeah.
Seriously, until you get the lesson, it's going to keep coming at you. I think the universe is trying to teach us lessons, and those lessons are meant for us to understand and to accept, and when we don't, they continue to come. Okay. All right, we're going to go move on to the next meditation now. That's a good one to practice, even when you wake up in the morning. If you're feeling a little groggy or a little sleepy or something, you start stimulating those centers and watch what happens. Okay. Might not be the greatest thing to do just before bed, though. You might find yourself a little too wide awake.
He'll be up all night. I've done it, Terry. Done it. Guilty.
Yeah.